Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body-Culinary giving you a shout out this early day. And I have a question for you. Do you live an active lifestyle? Do you live an active lifestyle? And if you don't, which doesn't make us bad people, right? If you don't live an active lifestyle, are you able to identify what's holding you back? What's holding you back? Like, for example, I don't allow my hair, this kinky cotton crown, to hold me back from playing and getting into action and going from one activity to another. So that's what we're going to chit chat about this early day, this Sunday. So grab your water in a wine glass or a mason jar. I love wine glasses and pretty glasses to drink out of, although I'm also a scientist. And this particular glass, I have a lot of favorite glasses. This glass I like because it's about 20 to 22 ounces if I fill it all the way up. So I have an idea for a reference point for how much I am drinking. So I like to be able to measure and quantify the quantity of what I'm eating and also the quality of what I'm putting into my body temple. Why? Because I want to know, and I like to cut the guesswork out of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's intentional, right? As a person that's had a tremendous amount of acne and cystic acne with the white stuff coming out of it, waste, and it was just a hot mess. As someone that's in a very warm climate, and I don't want to wear a whole bunch of makeup, although I can if I want to play, it's a relief to me to not have to wear a bunch of makeup. So today our product is raw cocoa butter. That's my bronzer. Raw cocoa butter. That's it. A little bit on the lips, but I don't like greasy lips. So every now and then just to play up a shine, but for the most part, I like the feel of my own skin. And I am playing around with just a little touch of mascara today because I do have eyelashes, and I have some fenugreek gel from my own house. That's it. So it's really relaxing and freeing to be able to enjoy my skin in my human suit. I'm intentional around protecting my psyche and enjoying my skin in all the phases of life. My priority is health and confidence over someone's made up moving goalpost of beauty. And if you're new to this channel, welcome on Body-Culinary, professional chef and personal trainer, mother, natural born woman. Love, shout out to whatever your expression is. All are welcome here as long as we are respectful to each other, right, and the family. So on this channel, I share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance, really being creative and appreciating the features that I have been divinely assigned in this lifetime, right? Not the hair police or the food police. And this is my quickie style of the day. I like to say this is one of my signature hairstyles because it's a hairstyle, number one, that I always wanted. I always wanted to have two long braids, when I was younger, but who knew that our hair could do that without having to be straightened and pressed and all of that. I always wanted this hairstyle. It's quick, it's convenient, and I don't have to twist my hair. I don't have to oil it. I don't have to do anything with my edges. So it's carefree, and it takes not even 4 minutes. So that's me in a nutshell, right? So I'm really enjoying it. It's no pulling. I can put a sun hat on when I'm out in the garden. So this is what, and I love, there's certain things that I'm drawn to. For some reason, I love gold string and gold fabric, just like I like martyrs and pestles and juicers. Go figure. Figure out what it is that you're attracted to. So this is one of my signature styles. I can work out. I feel like I can dress it up, dress it down. I can put the two together like this. I love flowers. So that's my quickie style of the day. So that's what about on this channel. On this channel, I like to share and encourage 3 leverage lifestyle practices because they give you so much more back for the investment of your time, your energy, and the currency, the very valuable, irreplaceable currency of your attention, which is monetized, by the way, right? How you're spending your attention, what you're clicking on, what you're watching, that data is collected and it's mined and it's sold. Just FYI. So before I forget, for those of you that are interested in our coaching, right? If you're interested in coaching around fitness training, getting your body into shape, you only need your apartment. You don't need a massive gym membership, right? You really don't. You could do amazing things from your own apartment. And if you also want coaching around overhauling everything you're eating, not a diet, whole, fresh living plant foods. Plant foods. You don't have to be a vegan or a vegetarian. You don't have to put the labels. However, if you put a certain litmus test and a certain standard in place for what will pass your lips, everything else will fall into place and you will find your sweet spot. So our group coaching is on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we will be meeting today. And then there's also Flower Fit Community. So that's coming together around activities. The activities are those lifestyle practices, right? Getting some feedback, sharing what you're learning, what you're trying to emphasize in your garden, around your movement practice. You find some good seeds, anywhere, sharing good books, anything around fitness, your movement practice in the garden. So coming together around activity. If you'd like some positive support, the links are there for Discord. You'll need to download the Discord app. Also, the guide, Whole Living Foods in the Hood, with menus to fit your budget, with sample budgets, spending plans, and shops and ideas. What can I possibly, how can I possibly combine all of this produce that I'm going to be shopping for so that it doesn't go to waste? And do check out the video on this channel, How to Extend the Life of Your Produce. If you, like me, have had a lot of acne and you're just over all the products, you're just over it, over it. I'm not making them bad or wrong. It's up to you to choose what you feel will resonate with your lifestyle. There's natural beauty in the product. And you'll also see, I didn't intend for my hair to lock. I have very, very fine hair. You can see what my hair and skin was looking like before it locked, right? And all the fruits and vegetables that primarily I'm eating, but I also put fruits and vegetables on my hair and skin. That's it. All the products went in the garbage. I think there's one shampoo that I'll use periodically, and if I can get rid of that, I'll get rid of that too. Because I like the simplicity, but it's not necessary for you to get rid of your shampoo if that's what's working for you. Find your sweet spot. I have found simplicity works for me. It's like, you got to pick and choose what's going to be your price and how you want to live. So that event, I just, please share in the comments. Are you living an active lifestyle? And how can, a lot of us, we say, especially in social media, we say, yeah, I do this, I do that. Okay. Do you have results that you want in your life? And what that looks like is you have vitality. You're not tired all the time. You're not falling asleep in the middle of the day. You are active. You have some form of movement, a personal movement practice, or vigorous movement, as I like to call it. That could be dance, yoga, line dancing, roller skating. Do you have incorporated into that some type of cardiovascular for your heart, right? Even if we're not, quote unquote, unhealthily overweight, it's very, very important as something for us to consider our heart health. Women can be prone to heart disease and heart attacks too, right? So we want to be preemptive because prevention is so much better than cure. So much, you mitigate a lot of sufferation, right? So cardiovascular, are you challenging your heart muscles safely and effectively? Are you challenging your muscles? We can't expect tone, or it doesn't make sense to expect toned muscles if we're not asking them to work again, safely, though effectively and efficiently. You might only have 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes tops to devote to a fitness routine. So then we want to make sure that we are doing and performing exercises correctly, i.e. through a full range of motion, not compromising the joints, really engaging the muscle fibers. There's a technique and a science to the amount of reps, the form, all of that. So if I line up 5 people next to each other and doing the same exact thing, they're going to get a different result. So it's really the nuances. So have you invested in educating yourself on how to maximize that time for your movement practice, which is a huge, one of the biggest, it's the best part of my day. It's huge in my toolbox of self-care. And more importantly, it's one of the ways, flowers, listen to that little tip. This is one of the ways you can transmute a lot of the anxiety in this climate of triggeration that we're in, constantly being triggered more than we realize. The anxiety, the worry, the fear, instead of just sitting fearful and just munching. And I was a junk food junkie. Fried foods, vegan junk, high-end food, low-end food. It was a hot mess. And I knew diabetes and heart disease was waiting for me, just as it did, that pattern with the rest of the women in my family. So I figured out early on I need to make some changes. And it's been a journey of, I think, over 30 years. And I've had a lot of fun. It doesn't have to take you that long, but it doesn't. You don't even have to buy 5 million powders and pills. It's not necessary. You can save yourself some time. And so if you look at your body temple and you do a check-in on your gut and you grab your waistline, yeah, grab the waistline, grab it, and see if you have a big several handfuls of unhealthy. This is not our shape. This is not about being voluptuous. But if you have unhealthy adipose tissue or waist there, that is usually a precursor for diabetes and heart disease. So that's the place we don't want to carry it. And we definitely don't want visceral fat. When we start to have a harder stomach, the stomach is actually small. So that means, what is it we're seeing around the waistline? So if we have a lot of a hardened big belly and it's hanging out of our waistline, that's pretty dangerous. And visceral fat is wrapping around the internal organs, right? So our body is like a fingerprint. It's telling a story of what we have been eating for years prior and months prior. Even say, oh, I just started something maybe a month or 2 months. Okay, are we consistent? Do we have a way to measure it, right? Just like, do we have a way to measure that we're being active? And is it enough activity to keep us healthy? Is it enough, and is it consistent? So fortunately, there are some ways that you can measure, right? You can measure if you're having engaging in enough of an active lifestyle. You can measure your heart rate, your resting heart rate, right? At rest, how effectively is your heart working? Is your heart working really, really hard at rest? That means we likely, perhaps we have some underlying conditions, and or we haven't challenged the cardiac muscle. So it's very, very weak. Are we very tight in our muscles because we sit down in a flex position with our hips in this position all day, and the hips are flexed or in a bent position. So now we've trained the body to be kind of locked down. This is also going to impact our lower back. So are you getting up during the course of the day? If you're in front of the computer, all day, how often are you getting up? You have one of these fancy fitness trackers or heart rate monitors, and you don't know how to use it, or you haven't been using it consistently. And even if you're using it, do you know how to put it into a context for figuring out how much gas it is that you're burning out of your car, how much you need to burn? For many people that perhaps have additional or unhealthful adipose tissue that they would like to metabolize, right? Only weight we ever want to release. And I invite you to consider weight release more so than weight loss. Because as we can see year after year after year, most people do not sustain. And there are some very definitive reasons why. So we got to get to the root of something if you really want to have an effective approach, strategy, and solution. So are you using all of these fancy doodads and all of these screens and devices and stuff? We're very enthusiastic and we get new sneakers and I'm going to join the gym or whatever. And by the end of next year, we're still in the same place. Do you have an active lifestyle? If you slow down, which I invite you to do, to examine your internal dialogue, do you find yourself cussing, at the thought of having to climb up the stairs, especially if you have bags in your hands? Do you ever take your bicycle outside and perhaps take, not just the flat route, but take some other kinds of hills? So it's an active lifestyle, right? Because if we're very, very active, and I can say from noticing different groups of people where I live now, and also over the years, different ethnic groups, different cultural groups, I can see very distinct patterns in terms of people's eating patterns, whether that's vanilla, brown, reddish tone people in different cultural backgrounds. You can see patterns with the amount of starch that we eat, the amount of fried foods we eat, the amount of weddings and recreational foods that we eat, the amount of physical activity is huge. I think of a couple of groups right here where I live right now, where most of the country is unhealthfully overweight. But I see a couple of distinct groups that look fit. It's rare to see a stomach. And I can tell you part of it is because they have an active lifestyle. Literally, activity is built into their whole way of life. So they don't really need a gym. So most of us, we say I have an active lifestyle, but yet the standard has been set so low, we just think walking to our car, or walking to extra blocks, okay, that's active. But however, if we still have an unhealthful amount of adipose tissue, perhaps it's not enough for what we'd like to see. And the standards have changed for how much we need. So if we look at our guts, if we look at our skin, if we look at our vitality level, the amount of energy drinks and actually very intense stimulants that actually burn out the adrenal glands and can contribute to adrenal fatigue. And when you get fatigued like that, it's really hard to get back into a rhythm, to get your body back into a rhythm where you feel rested. It can interfere with your sleep, your body's ability to burn fat, all of this stuff becomes rhythm off. So my question today is, do you live an active lifestyle? Do you have any positive accountability in place, whether that's your coach or any of these fancy devices? Do you have journals? Do you have any way to measure your performance? And do you have any way to measure your improved performance? Right? This is why people work with coaches and why athletes work with coaches. Not that necessarily they copy. However, looking for another level of a result, right? Perhaps you're concerned that you're winded. If you're winded going up the stairs right now, what do you need this body to do for you in the next 5, 10, 20 years? If you are really intentional about not having to take medication, which is, by the way, very, very expensive. There are some people that can't travel, which is astounding and humbling, can't travel because they need to be next to their medication. And we're not thinking about these things in our 20s and our 30s. We have a lot more women with PCOS, right? And so you're in a danger zone if you have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. It contributes greatly to acne and overweight. And the more unhealthily overweight you are, the more intense the symptoms get. So there's a lot we're dealing with, and it's fantastic to be creative with our hair and our makeup. Yet we have a lot of underlying conditions that are not being addressed. And I don't know speaking about them until we're in crisis mode. So we don't have to wait to be in crisis mode, because just getting active with the active lifestyle and being able to measure how active you're being, measuring your heart, what your heart is doing, starting to understand how much fuel does my car need, can go a long way to get us on a healthful trajectory. Again, what do you need your body to do for you the next 15, 20 years? What do you want to look like? What do you want to feel like? Are you intentional about that, or you just whatever? So I invite you to consider, this is something that we want to be intentional about, or otherwise the people that we're helping to the doctor, or all the money that we have paid for our education and that we've paid to get to another level of bringing in streams of income, to get at the halfway mark of your life and have to turn around and give all of that back to doctors is nutso. And to have to spend the next half of your life almost every day at the doctor, right, with 5 or 6 medications, and all these medications have contraindications, right? So the goal is to focus. I invite you to consider focusing and getting into action around what you say you value, getting into action around health insurance, which are your actions, so that we can use the medical insurance in case of an emergency. But our goal, hopefully your goal, is to stay out of there, to stay vibrant and have a way to measure improve performance, which you can improve in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s safely with just some basic education. So, are you leading an active lifestyle? Are you roller skating? Or do you have any kind of resistance training? Are you consistent? Are you in the gym for a whole year and your body looks the same? And I can tell you, as a trainer, trainers discuss this amongst themselves all the time, whether or not you see folks in the gym day after day after day and your body composition doesn't change. So usually there are some blind spots to consider, right? And once you can become aware of those blind spots, then you can take some course correction and some corrective action. So I invite you to join me during the weekdays, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for Harriet squats. That's our workout at 5 a.m. At 4:30, there is deep breathing, relaxation, goal setting, and intention. Right? That's 4:30, 5 a.m. is Harriet squat. So early bird gets the prize. And Fridays is a community class. So the community class is donation based. Everyone is welcome, though you will need to download the Discord app, Body-Culinary, on the Discord server. Fill out the application so that we can identify a name and a face with the email, so we can really be very particular about creating and maintaining a safe space. So that being said, I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. We'll check back in. Let me know, do you have a quickie style also that encourages you to get, you take the hair off the table and you're able to go and play and get active and get sweaty. Create a great day on purpose. You can catch Body-Culinary, aka Kwasa Peaceful Eating with a K, on TikTok, and Body-Culinary on Instagram. See you soon. Create a great day.